and that is Vance McDonald shedding a tackler, taking on another.
Okay, Vance, first of all, congratulations. How did you come to this decision to retire from football?
You just like to think of it as a call. It wasn't by accident that my wife and I just felt this tremendous passion to not only stay in the Pittsburgh area, but find this farm, and just felt called to start this ministry. So we did all the things mentioned, but there was just a really strong urge over the last few months, especially with COVID, everything kind of thrown all about in every which direction for different families and their situations. I just wanted to take a pause and just start this next chapter. So we've been brainstorming, we've been planning, we've been directing, and I think now is finally the time to sort of shut the NFL chapter and again just start to move off with Hidden Meadow Farm Retreat, which we felt very passionately about doing, and we are very excited to get started.
For those who don't know, can you explain where it is located? I know it's close to training camp at St. Vincent College, and like you said, it's something you guys have been working on.
Yes, so we set out, again, we just fell in love with this area. We fell in love with the Northeast, we fell in love with Pittsburgh. Us proud Texans, we always think that I'm just going to go back to Texas, and but we really did. We fell in love with Pennsylvania, and again, I do not think that that's by accident. That's by God's design. And we started putting out sort of feelers of places of where to live and where to set up not only our roots, but where to launch this foundation. And we wrestled around with the idea of what exactly that would all look like, and again, we found a place. It's 133 acres east of Pittsburgh, about 55 miles. And I always tell people, I'm not from this area, but everyone's very well versed with Mr. Rogers. So it is just north of Idlewild, the entrance to Idlewild. We're about 5 minutes up the road. So, and then like you mentioned, it's very close to training camp. So it's about a 15-minute drive from St. Vincent College.
When you decided, okay, it was time to close the chapter on playing in the NFL, who was the first person from the Steelers that you told or called or, kind of alerted to your decision?
It was Ben. It was actually right after the game. I went up to Ben. We're all, yes, the persona of NFL athletes, obviously, we're rough and tough and well built. We run into walls for fun. But, obviously after situations like that, when our season ended against Cleveland, we're just thrown into this emotional whirlwind, and we're just all a bloody mess. And, there's fluids coming from us, I guess you could say. So just giving Ben a big hug and thanking him for, all the memories. We were locker mates for 4 years, and I didn't take one day for granted, knowing what he's done and just the friend that he became. And so he was the first one I told. And there was a couple other guys that I just felt prompted, based off of, how they were responding from the conclusion of the season. It just felt right to sort of express that to them as well. And but it was something that my wife and I, we had thought about for many months. Leading up to the season, and knew that this one was going to be the last one. But it was definitely a bittersweet moment. I'll miss the guys for sure. I'll miss the daily facility and relationships, and again, all the things that aren't even necessarily football that I just really came to appreciate. I'll miss the game for sure, of course, as well.
I did want to ask you for the last question, kind of a two-parter. What is one memory as a Steeler on the field that sticks out to you, and then one from off the field of something you were able to do in the community?
So the one on the field is definitely the stiff arm.
The Vanimal.
Yeah, the Vanimal unleashed.
Fires it to an open man, and running up the field is Vance McDonald. Vance McDonald runs over a man. He's at the 40, the 35, the 30, the 25, the 20, the 15, 10. Touchdown. Vance McDonald completely ran over strong safety Chris Conte.
It was just such a special moment. Just replaying it, and constantly people's even still just talking about it. It was just such a cool moment, and not even really just for me particularly too, but it was that in that game, we didn't have momentum against Tampa, and everyone kept saying, man, you were the spark that got us started, and I was like, yeah, right. But it was just such a cool moment, especially too in a primetime game. I thought that was just really, really fun, really great memory. I'll always remember it too. But man, there's so many others. Everyone that watches me or did watch me obviously knows that I really enjoy after catching the ball, just finding the nearest defender and just putting everything I have into hitting them. And I enjoyed every one of those collisions, the ones that I won and lost. So I'll miss that for sure. My wife told me there's no walls that you can mark around the house that you can do that against, so you better get it all out of your system this season. As far as off the field, man, there's so many to think about. I think about the missions trip that I went on with teammates back in San Francisco. That was such a great thing, and it was such an amazing inception of a relationship with Convoy of Hope that I not only blossomed within the 49ers organization, but also came with us here to Pittsburgh. That's amazing. I think about Trucks of Hope, the things that we put together this past year just regarding COVID. One also that sticks out in particular is the stance that the Pittsburgh Steelers took this past season. When we all kneeled in the middle of the field, and we had a private prayer that I led among the entire organization. That for me, it was such an amazing thing to be able to do, and to be appointed and being held responsible of doing that and leading us, because the overall sort of message, that we were sending is, obviously the Pittsburgh Steelers stand for everyone. We want to fight just as hard for, him and her as the other people, anyone else. And so, that stance that we took as an entire team, as a collective, as an organization in the middle of the field was really amazing. And, again, man, I mean, there's so many awesome memories, but, I really especially enjoy, just giving back to the community. I would say too, the Huddle for Holidays, being able to walk around Heinz Field. Again, you're fighting nerves, expectations, and everything else. Whenever we did the first one a couple years ago with Convoy and the Steeler partnership, and seeing that, I think we had like 30 something teammates, and just the families walking around Heinz. People are always there for games, and again, now we have a community outreach event there, and giving back, and just people are so excited. We all have our jerseys on, and it was just such a cool evening to do that and to give back to the community. So, man, there's a bunch to name. There really is a bunch to name, and I'm gonna miss them all. But it's really fun to celebrate them all too.
All right, Vance. Well, we really appreciate your time today. Best of luck. Don't be a stranger, and hopefully we'll see you, at the next training camp at St. Vincent.
Likewise. Thank you for everything, Missy.